Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Integrity Commission wants Everett Warmington off Integrity Oversight Committee. No end in sight for Haiti crisis. And later in sports, top schoolboy footballer encouraged by performance for Reggae Boys on debut. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shane Masters and here are the details. The Integrity Commission is to recommend that former Minister with responsibility for works, Everett Warmington, be removed as a member of the Integrity Commission Parliamentary Oversight Committee and the Joint Select Committee for the Review of the Integrity Commission Act. Now, the Integrity Commission says during its regular monthly meeting yesterday, it discussed the recent statements that were made by Mr. Warmington regarding withholding funds from a People's National Party councillor designate. In a media release today, the Commission says it will be writing the chairperson of the committees, Edmund Bartlett, to express its stance that the former minister should not continue as a member. It says the recommendation is made, among other things, in light of the preamble of the Integrity Commission Act, which states that the Act is to promote and enhance standards of ethical conduct for parliamentarians, public officials, and other persons. The Integrity Commission says the former minister's actions fall well short of standards and conduct that are becoming of a minister and a parliamentarian. The Commission is to further write to Speaker of the House, Juliet Holness, to suggest that the Ethics Committee address the matter. It says this step is seen as essential to ensuring that the issue is appropriately handled within the parliamentary framework. The Integrity Commission says its deliberations, which also looked at additional steps that may be taken to address this situation, were aimed at upholding the Commission's commitment to maintaining the highest standards of integrity and good governance within the government. Haiti continues to face a gripping crisis as gangs continue to target key government sites within the country's capital, Port-au-Prince. The most recent attack in the French-speaking Caribbean territory was on the airport in the capital. Jamila Maitland reports.
There's seemingly no end in sight to the conflict and deepening crisis facing Haiti as gangs in the French-speaking nation continue to wreak havoc. They're demanding the resignation of the current Prime Minister Ariel Henry. Mr. Henry took control of the country following the assassination of its president, Jovenel Moïse, in 2021, but things have been spiraling out of control since then. The Haitians want an election. The last one was in November 2016. According to the latest reports, gang members in the country tried to seize control of the Toussaint-Louverture airport, but there was a fierce fight back from the security forces who clashed with the armed thugs. Miami Herald Caribbean correspondent Jacqueline Charles says the Haitian security forces have been operating with little firepower against the powerful gangs.
Yesterday, we saw an attack at the airport. The gangs had been making moves toward the airport in the last couple of days. They were shooting near the airport, led American Airlines to cancel flights. But yesterday they were shooting from various directions. You had the Haitian National Police. They were able to push them back along with the army. Haiti doesn't have much in terms of an army because the U.S. basically pushed for Haiti to disband its army after the 91 coup. And so, we're hearing reports that another police station also fell last night and is now under the control of gangs.
There have been talks of a meeting with the gangs to bring a sense of calm to the crisis. However, Ms. Charles believes that will not work.
There are 200 gangs in Haiti. Do you bring 200 gangs to the table? I think for outsiders who are looking at this, and Haitians on the ground will tell you is that, they often, quote comments where somebody misspoke about this coalition that was formed. This coalition, hasn't necessarily brought peace. You have coalitions of gangs that are fighting all of the time. I mean, today these gangs are allies. Tomorrow they're at each other's throats. And so, again, you bring one gang member. Do you think all of the other 199 gang groups are going to follow?
As for the election,
if the current prime minister were to resign or be forced out, then who steps in? Do you end up having a gang member that steps in? Do you end up having somebody who's sanction that steps in. Or, there are other groups that are saying that they should lead. Okay, if they were to step in, will that stop the violence?
Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
In the meantime, development economist Dr. Chris Stokes has called for a regional resolve to work with Haiti for the creation of a government and society that functions. Dr. Stokes says for years, regional leaders have been postponing dealing with the problems that have plagued the French-speaking nation. Halsheen Burke has more.
Dr. Stokes' comments come after the declaration of a state of emergency and a nighttime curfew in Haiti amid a surge of violence and the release of 4,000 prisoners on the weekend. Dr. Stokes says with the current instability in Haiti, there is the heightened risk of neighboring countries such as Jamaica, Turks and Caicos and Bahamas having to deal with people fleeing violence. He says decisive action is needed.
The Dominican Republic has been very strong in dealing with it. Jamaica's approach, I think, needs to be clear. You cannot open the floodgates, and if you really want to help, I think there's far more direct action that one can take to get that going. And in the meantime, it's just a matter of being vigilant. But all the countries around Haiti and the Dominican Republic face a particular issue, but it goes on overseas as well, and it's a risk. Let us not think that by letting Haitians in or turning a blind eye that we are helping. We've been kicking this can down the road for hundreds of years. We need to, out of respect for Haiti, to work with them for a solution and to create a government and a country and a society that works. And this is where we need to spend our energy.
Dr. Stokes says CARICOM has not moved purposefully to address the problems in Haiti.
And I'm afraid there's no way to do this without getting, as they say, boots on the ground or getting skin in the game. Statements are always good of support or so on. But Haiti, primarily the capital, is out of control. And there's no way to do it from a distance or through policy changes. One of the things that I think CARICOM can play a role in is getting the different sections or groups in Haiti to sit at the table and come to some agreement. And this is part of the problem. They cannot agree among themselves as to a way forward and a form of government and a way forward. And this is among the greatest obstacles to confronting the problem. CARICOM does have a role.
Interim Prime Minister of Haiti, Ariel Henry, is in Kenya, attempting to iron out a reciprocal agreement that would allow for Kenyan troops to lead a multinational police force in Haiti. The initial attempt failed after the Kenyan courts ruled the mission unconstitutional.
Environment lobby group Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, is calling for the temporary suspension of the permit issued to the company found to be responsible for Friday's fish kill in the Rio Cobrins in Catherine. Speaking today on TVJ Smile Jamaica, Executive Director of JET, Dr. Theresa Rodriguez Moody, says the penalty should remain in place until stakeholders are satisfied that the preventative measures implemented will be effective. The pollutant and source are being investigated by the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA. However, residents of Linstead say the river had a strong caustic odor. NEPA has described the fish kill as minor, but Dr. Rodriguez Moody says the issue is happening too often and is affecting many who depend on the river. Dr. Rodriguez Moody has argued for stronger penalties and enforcement of environmental laws by NEPA. She has also put forward recommendations for better monitoring of the Rio Cobre.
Monitoring the data that comes along with it. Now, I understand that NEPA will say that they don't have a lot of staff, which makes it challenging. Well, this is why we're looking at automatic monitoring systems. There are tools that are in place that can be put in the river so that they can detect when there are high levels of pH or fecal coliform or whatever it is, so that there can be faster response time. And we're also looking at greater transparency. Greater transparency. The public should be told, because remember, we use a river. So if we can't use a river, tell us.
And it's time for a break here on the Midday News, but stay with us, more stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Today, March 5, is celebrated by the Ministry of Education in partnership with Peace and Love in Schools Peace and Love in Society PALS Jamaica as Peace Day. Now, this year's theme is Let Peace Run Things. In commemorating the initiative, scores of schools at the early childhood level in St. Mary carried out Peace Day activities across the parish. Damar McQueen is a guidance counselor at the Port Maria Primary School.
We are celebrating our Peace Day. We are doing this by a group march where we incorporate the infant and the Gospel Chapel School along with ours to proclaim peace in Port Maria.
He says he's pleased with the reception from the community.
It is going good. I recognize that the reception of the community members, it is being received. We recognize that persons are really happy to see the school out in the community doing such an initiative.
And it's now time for the Business Minute. The Factories Corporation of Jamaica, FCJ, is set to spend $1.13 billion Jamaican dollars on capital projects in the new fiscal year. In the latest public bodies estimates, the government says the FCJ, which provides commercial and industrial spaces, is to complete the 448,000 square foot property at the Morant Bay Urban Development Center. The development is expected to provide a number of office and commercial spaces, which should bring hundreds of jobs to St. Thomas. FCJ also says the 360,000 square foot Garmex expansion and redevelopment project is to continue during the fiscal year. 3 warehouse buildings are being constructed, which will add 96,000 square feet of space to facilitate commercial and retail activity. The public body also says plans are to be advanced for the Boundbrook redevelopment project in Port Antonio, Portland. Further afield, Bitcoin hit a new record high on Monday. The digital currency was trading at $68,791. That is $2 more than its previous record, which was reached in November 2021. Bitcoin's rally over the past several months has been propelled by U.S. regulators approving exchange-traded funds, ETFs, that are pegged to the digital asset. And that's it for the Business Minute. Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force RBDF says it will create a blockade in the southern Bahamas amid reports that a significant number of inmates had escaped from 2 prisons in Haiti. The force says steps are being taken to fortify the country's position in the southeastern Bahamas to effectively blockade that area to prevent any forced migration coming from Haiti. On the international scene, at least 35 people died while dozens more were injured as freezing rain and unexpected snowfall hit remote areas of Pakistan over the weekend. 22 children were among the fatalities, many of whom were crushed in landslides that buried their homes. The extreme weather hit Pakistan's northern and western regions, clogging roads and damaging hundreds of houses. Experts say they were surprised by the snow as Pakistan is typically humid in March. And a United Nations team say there is convincing information that hostages held in Gaza have been subjected to sexual violence, including rape and sexualized torture. The UN says there are grounds to suspect the abuse is ongoing. The team also found reasonable grounds to believe sexual violence, including gang rape, took place in Hamas's initial attack in Israel on October 7 last year. And those are the top regional and international stories. I'm Carrie Simpson.
Thanks, Carrie. And we head to a quick break. When we come back, Jeremy Brown will have your midday sports report.